Alright guys, so right now I'm going to be sharing with you another secret for multiplying your revenue with YouTube. Now, the key and the fundamental to this secret is that we're going to be leveraging your audience retention. And what I mean by this is that we can actually study the analytics of your videos, and this is why I suggest guys like putting up as many videos as you possibly can. Because once you guys have a lot of videos up, we can start leveraging the analytics that you have available at your fingertips. YouTube basically gives you all these analytics, and it's super cool. So I'm going to go here to the next slide, and we're going to essentially be looking at where to add advertisements within your videos. Because once you've had your video up for about 48 hours, you start to get some analytics, so you can actually see audience retention. And here is an example graph of audience retention on one of my videos. As you can see, it's got a 60% average percentage viewed. That's really good. Now, where should you add advertisements in a video just like this one? So as you can see, here's the video. Now, as you might also be able to notice that there's little spikes in here throughout this audience retention graph. And as you can see, that's because those are the action points in the video. So these typically correspond to when a scene is changing, to when something's being revealed. So you want as many of these action points as possible in your video to get higher audience retention and a higher average percentage viewed. So as you can see, there's all these little spikes in here throughout the video. This particular video is a top 5 video. So as you can see, there's about 5 spikes in here. This first spike is at the intro, the second spike is at number 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as you can see, I actually cut out the outro on the video just so I could get a higher audience retention, because when you have an outro on the video, if it's too long, it will end up killing your audience retention because people just drop off right at the outro. So you can solve this by just cutting out the outro altogether. That's what I did in this video. Now back to multiplying your ad revenue and making as much money as you possibly can with YouTube. Where should you add advertisements? Now you're going to want to add advertisements on the action points of the video. I do not recommend adding them before the action points. I recommend adding them directly on top of the action points on the video. And these can be seen in the analytics that take about 48 hours to generate after you uploaded your video to YouTube. So I recommend publishing your video and adding the advertisements at first where the action points are, where you think the action points are. That's what you should do first, and then after 48 hours, after the video was up, then you can go back through the analytics and see exactly and kind of fine-tune where those advertisements are. So for this example video, as you can see, the first ad we're going to want to add on this little bump right here. I generally like to add an advertisement about 10 to 20 seconds into the video, regardless, because some audience retention graphs, it'll go directly down and just be like, and that's generally not a good video. But when it has a spike here, you're going to want to add an advertisement right on that. Otherwise, I would add an advertisement about to 10 to 20 seconds in regardless. And then for the second advertisement, as you can see, I added right on this bump right here. Again, do not add it before, because as you can see, the audience retention is a little lower right there. You add it when it's going directly at the peak of the audience retention graph. So we add another advertisement right there. The next ad, we're going to add at this next slope right here, and I think you guys are starting to catch on. The next one you add at that peak in audience retention right there, and so forth. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ads we can add in that video, and you add them all at high points of audience retention. Now, here's another example of a different kind of audience retention chart, and as you can see, this chart has... It kind of goes down, and then as you can see, there's a big action point at about 10 minutes in the video. So for sure, you're going to want to add an advertisement right at the peak of that action point in this video. So definitely add an advertisement right there. Now you might be wondering, should I add any more advertisements in this video? Where else should I put an ad in this video? Now I just want to quick out before I tell you guys where you should place the next ad in an audience retention chart like this. As you can see at the very end right here, it does slope off, and that's because I put that long 20-second outro, which was a big mistake. You're not going to want to add outros that are too long, because people just click off the video when they see a long outro. They're not going to want to watch it. It just makes people click off of the video. So definitely do not put too long of an outro. That kind of killed the audience retention at the end. But this video did perform very, very well because I did have that spike right there. And if you can add as many action points and as many spikes in audience retention as possible, your channel's really going to blow up, especially if you can combine that with the high click-through rate, your channel is going to blow up, guys. So high audience retention combined with high click-through rate equals the watch time, which is what YouTube's looking for. Now going back to this audience retention graph, where should you add another advertisement? Now, I actually recommend adding it again within that first 10 to 20 seconds in the video. So as you can see right here, the audience retention is going down, and we just add an advertisement right there, get them with the ad, because even though it is sloping down right here, as you can see, it's still about 80-90% audience retention, which is still better than this action point even down there. But as you can see, it actually goes lower than this action point, and then it spikes back up, and then you're going to want to add an advertisement right at the peak again, and then it slopes down again. So in this particular video, I added 2 advertisements. Now, you could add as many advertisements as you want. Like, you could put an ad right here, you could put an ad right here. But for this particular one, these are the 2 main points in which I recommend adding advertisements. Now, this is from a video that did very well. It actually got over 1 million views. So if you can add as many action points in your video as possible. Now imagine if I added an action point similar to this one, and I added it like earlier on in the video. So as you can see, imagine if it's sloping down, and I added like maybe 3 or 4 of those action points. It's really going to keep the viewers in if you do that, guys. So try to add as much action in the video as possible, or just anything that'll keep the viewers' attention. And this goes to any kind of YouTube channel, guys. If you're making your own videos, if you're using other people's videos, putting together compilations, putting different videos by each other, trying to keep the most audience retention for the longest amount of time, or if you're just even filming your own videos, this applies to everything. This is a key fundamental to YouTube, and understanding this is really key to blowing up on YouTube. And these are analytics that are readily available to you within the YouTube analytics. Highly recommend going in, looking at them, seeing where you can place advertisements to really maximize your profit on YouTube. So there we go, guys. That's my number 2 secret to definitely multiplying the revenue you are making on YouTube.